How's it going, everybody? Nick Daniels here, coming at you live yet again. And today, we're going to be reviewing the Adult Friend Finder dating app. Stick around. All right, folks, so we got a lot to talk about as usual, so let's get into it. But before we do, I will mention that this was the most rated or most voted dating app in my most recent poll. So I do appreciate that feedback, and I do like that. So thank you for voting. If you do want to vote on the next ones, we do have Tagged coming up. So that will be the next one coming up, and then we'll go from there. I believe Elite Singles will be following the Tag dating app. So let's get into it. So the general setup was not really a good start. So the first thing I noticed is I couldn't find an app for it in the App Store on the iOS. I did Google around and found some like random sketchy websites that were third party trying to get me to install apps. Not going to do that. I don't actually know if they have an app. I really don't. So all the footage you're going to see is recorded off my phone, off my phone on the web browser, just going to the site. So that's the most convenient way. The account setup is pretty robust. It's not that good. It's pretty trash is what I wrote. You have an option. You can be like, I'm male, I'm female, I'm whatever, and then it has couple. So that's actually kind of cool because, of course, this is basically a hookup app. And by basically a hookup app, I mean it is a hookup app. So putting yourself as a couple is actually kind of cool. I don't mind that. Any information you put in your profile, so like for example, like pictures, an introduction, a biography, what you're looking for, any of that thing, anything at all, has to be approved. So I don't really know what the criteria for approving it is. Like I put a photo where I have like a prop gun. It is a prop gun, and it should be fairly obvious, but some people maybe look at that and go, I don't know about that. Bumble will actually delete that photo, and this got through with no problem. So I don't really know what they're moderating per photo. Maybe they are moderating, maybe they're really not, but it does say waiting to be approved. A couple other things we'll talk about in the profile. We are going to circle back to that, but one of them was that you can list your kinks. I didn't even really bother trying it. I remember looking at it, and it just didn't really give me much of an option, so maybe I was looking at it wrong. That's entirely possible. So the first time when I tried using this website, and maybe it was just me, maybe it was a glitch, I don't really understand, everything was paywalled. Okay, like literally paywalled. I couldn't get in. I couldn't do anything. And what I mean by that is I have a list of things I couldn't do, and I'll explain them right now. I couldn't open my messages. I couldn't open my emails. I couldn't open the video tab. I could not message anyone. I could not flirt with anyone. I could not view profiles because it would just have a small little picture, and if I go to expand it or see anything on the woman at all, can't see it. I logged in a few days later. I just kind of got disgruntled with that. I come in a few days later, and it all worked. So I don't really understand, but the first time trying to do all of those, I would instantly be prompted with their subscription model, which we'll get to here momentarily. So that was very much a roadblock and not very user-friendly. Like, it really does try to shove it down your throat to buy it. So the Hot or Not is actually, it's called the dating app, but is actually the feature in here where you swipe left or right on people. It's pretty basic. They give you a little tutorial. All standard things apply. You can't do this and you can't do that. You know what it is. The search preferences are mediocre, but whatever. So that's that. We're going to jump into the community tab. Now, I will mention, to find some of these things, you do have to go to the settings on the site. And it actually did work to go to the broadcasting doing it this way when it was like, oh, paywall, because at the bottom of the site, there's a video icon, and it just didn't let me do it. So it's really weird that I could do it one way and not the other way. So the community tab works like a forum. Of course, you can follow specific interests or people. Those interests obviously could be like BDSM, erotica. What they do have erotic stories on there. You can follow groups, you can make posts, you can comment. Some of them will actually flag, like it'll be like, oh, this is adult 18 plus content, and it'll blur it, and then you can just click to see it. So like after you're at work or something. I'm actually not gonna lie, I don't mind this community tab whatsoever. I have no problem with that. I actually like it. I will often say that I think community tabs have a place in these dating apps, and I think they really work because instead of just bringing yourself in as like just like an amoeba, like a single cell organism, hanging out, talking to no one, not getting any matches, you can interact with the community, and I think that's really good. They have a chat room. That's exactly what you think it is. It's like the 16-year-olds that used to go and ask your ASL, like your age, sex, location. It's exactly the same. For some reason, when I tried using it, my messages didn't appear in the chat. I don't really understand why that was. I tried it for about 5 minutes, and I probably had enough of that after that. So I think it's like a 50-person limit in a chat. In one of the chat rooms, and again, you just go in. It's just like random name, you know, whatever, and you just go in. And I will note, by the way, from the account setup that I did forget to mention is you start off with a username as well, so it does keep a little bit of you know, mysterious. There's a little mysteriousness going on there, which is fine, and I don't mind that. So there's a contests, which, you know, I should probably preference this as we continue along the next couple points, and the chat room as well. I am censoring the content you're going to see on here. It's all just a bunch of people, you know, doing the dirty. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say now that I'm monetized, but you know what I'm talking about. They're, you know. They're hanging out by themselves and they're doing things. All the contest is just exactly that. It's just all women. They're all naked. There's no men, and it's just entries. So it's basically just like unlimited amount of just nudity that you can go find. Really not much to talk about there. I didn't even really want to bother exploring it. The live streaming and broadcasting, this ironically is not terrible. But again, it's exactly what you think it would be. It's basically just naked women touching themselves. I looked through about the first 50 channels, so I could just kind of like flick through it a few times. There was just no men. Like, it's like they don't even advertise men on the channel, and if they are on there, they're definitely like not getting promoted in any way. Some of them are free to join and watch in, and then we'll talk about what you can do with those, with the points and the coins kind of thing. But yeah, you can join into some of them, and it doesn't seem to charge me anything. Same as messaging, which again, we'll talk to in a moment. We'll talk to that point. But when doing that, some of them did ask, like, it would be like, oh, you got to use like X amount of points to view this broadcast. And again, when we get to the payment plan here, which we'll be here in just a moment, we'll talk about that. I wrote a point about dopamine hits, so I get a lot of emails about this. So there is a lot of emails in my inbox from adultfriendfinder.com telling me, like, I've been viewed, I got a message, and when I go in, there's, like, nothing there. So it's totally one of these, like, cheap tricks to just, like, get this dopamine hit. Like eHarmony would do it, right, as an example, and I'll explain. So this is a little tangent, but if you sign up to eHarmony, right, it's a paid dating app. There's really no way around it unless you get a free weekend or something, and you're very limited if you do that, but you can try it. Needless to say, when you sign up and you are on a free account, you haven't actually paid yet. Something that'll commonly happen, and a lot of dating apps do it, and you'll know what I'm talking about, and you probably already do, is you'll instantly get these matches and messages that don't make any sense. Like, you don't even have a picture up or something, and you're like, okay, cool, and I've been young and naive and done that, and I'll instantly just pay because I want to unlock those messages. And a lot of the time, it's just, like, you can tell, like, it's a woman that's 5,000 kilometers away and was like, hey, beautiful. Like, it's not going to happen, right? It's just, I take a very realistic standpoint to online dating, right? It's very realistic. Some people probably don't like that, and I think a lot of people think it's relatable, right? And it's not necessarily like a win or lose. It's like you keep your head up and you play the game, right? Right now, it's kind of working for me. We'll maybe make a video about that. Maybe we won't. But, and that's just how it goes. But don't sucker into this, right? Like, when they email you and they're like, oh, by the way, you're getting, like, wow, like, people are into you. Don't buy it. Don't do it. Notifications on the site are the same thing. You'll get the big, notification symbol, and there's, like, nothing there. At best, I got, like, just a bunch of blank messages from, like, a bot or something that was like, oh, like, do this, like, Sandra's into you, and you can tell she's not, like, whatever. So we'll talk about the subscription plan. I thought that was, more than enough time to get into that, build it up. So the prices, ironically, are not as bad as I thought, but we'll get into them, obviously. The 1 month plan is $35.04. I don't know why it's in 4 cents. We're not going to talk about that. 3 months is $23.37, which is $70 billed quarterly. Keep in mind, by the way, when you look at these dating apps and the subscription models, they always tell you the price per month in, like, the big number because it looks like it's lower, and then the actual amount you're going to pay them is below that. So keep in mind, like, what you're actually paying. The 12-month plan is $17.46 per month, which works out to about $209 yearly for the 12-month plan. Now, what they do offer you when you go to pay, or when you even look at the paying, is there's an option down at the bottom, and there's a better 3-month plan that they don't really advertise you so much. The 3-month plan that's better is $40.43, and what it actually works out to, and that's per month, what it works out to is that free members can respond to you. So when you message an account on this dating app, again, eHarmony is a great example, Match.com, same thing. If you are a paid account and you message someone that's a free account, whether you be a guy or a girl, and let's be honest, it's probably most men paying for it and a very small amount of women. If you message a free account, they can't even open the message. They can't view it. They can't do anything, right? It's exactly what I talked about. It's that dopamine hit. They're going to be like, oh my God. And they can't actually respond until paying. But you can pay an additional like $10 and then any free account can respond to you. But they're probably not going to actually know that. They'd have to try to open the message and see it. But if they already know they haven't paid and they can't view messages, they're not going to read it. It's supposed to guarantee you some more likes and messages and responses. In theory, it would. But again, like they're just not going to know. They're not going to look. So I just think it's redundant. So with the membership, there are some perks to that, but it's mainly just accessing everything I mentioned above. So it's like the unlimited messages. You can watch live streams. You get more matches. It's just silly things like that. There's not even really much of a list on the site of what you can and can't do. Okay, so I just double-checked, and I can absolutely confirm when subscribing to the gold membership that it's literally just what it is. It's not like silver or anything. Subscribing to gold membership literally just doesn't tell you what you're getting. Quite literally, it's just kind of like all access to the site. The community tab and all that was already free, but you get some points out of that. Like, I don't think you even get any additional points. Like, you'd still have to buy points from the gold membership. So it's just really scummy that they would do that. So with that being said, let's talk about the points. So how the points work out is you can buy points, which obviously they do that. So 200 points works out to $4.02. Don't know why it's 2 cents. 500 points works out to $8.04, and 1,000 points works out to $13.40. You can also earn points by watching some videos. Not bad. I like that. They're just like your standard run-of-the-mill BS advertisements. So a couple things you can do with the points is you can bid on your favorite members to become their top fan. That sounds like a real simp to me, but, you know, take it as you will. You can send tips and gifts to your favorite members. So that basically works in direct chatting, which we'll talk about now as well. So when working in a direct chat, you are very limited in some of the options you can do. Like you can send a photo or something like that. So I'm just hopefully no unsolicited pictures there. But I tried sending just a selfie of myself from my profile and it allowed me to do that, but it didn't give me the option to upload one. It was already something uploaded on my profile. And again, you can pay points. It was like 17 points to initiate a chat. I don't believe it's anything after that. It's just to initiate the chat. Then I can continue the chat with the person. So that's the way the direct chatting kind of works, which is nice. And it's very simple, but you can do that. And you can tip them. Again, I don't really know much of what that really gives you. Maybe it stands out in their inbox. I have no idea. And you can send them gifts, which is the same thing. Other like dating apps, I know that you can kind of transfer those kind of things into like, oh, I can keep that as real money. So I don't really know how that works. But I guess like they're probably getting paid when we watch advertisements because of like if I just watch a bunch of advertisements, they're not like I'm not paying. So there you go. You can use points to enjoy live member broadcasting. So again, in the live stream section, you can kind of do a little bit of that. You can go watch a few, and some of them did ask me to pay a little bit, and some of them didn't. So mostly the ones that were naked didn't ask me. That was cool. And again, you can watch ads for points, and you can pay to direct message people. So points. Great. Couple honorable mentions of things we can talk about here. Instant messaging shows filtered chats. So it's just completely random accounts you've had no contact with. I don't know why it does that. And that's the main thing. It tries to get you to do that. There's also kind of like a locals tab. I don't know if I'd call it locals, but basically your generic like, oh, like here's just a bunch of profiles. As mentioned before, you're extremely limited in what you can look at and even do with them. A lot of them are like nowhere near you, which is natural is how it's going to be. The age ranges are all over the place. And you're just extremely limited, again, in like, you know, search filters and all that, as you just kind of expect at this point. You're not really going to get anywhere with that. So it's, yeah, just not really good. And even those, I don't even believe you can direct message them from that. You can't even view their full profile without paying. Completely garbage. Last couple mentions here before we get to the reviews. So you can send some flirts to people, which are basically like your free way of communicating. I even tried doing that on day one, and it actually asked me to pay, which is insane. You have a friends list and a hot list. Interesting. The hot list, I think, is more like to see people who are just apparently hot on the site, which Yeah, you already know it's all women. You can see the favorite content, top fans, and then there's like a little activity feed, which is basically just people like making their posts, uploading photos, which is basically just a bunch of naked women. I mean, I don't really want to keep pressing on the fact that it's just naked women, but that's quite literally what it is. So we're going to go on some reviews here on SiteJabber, because it's just convenient to get a couple pictures from here. So what I'm doing is we're just going to rate a few from the good reviews and a few from the bad ones. Just as a reference here, we have at 1 star, we have 286 reviews, and at 5 stars, we have 26. There are 100 on the 4, 66 on 3 stars, and 72 on 2 stars. So very negative being reviewed, but we'll read on a couple of the positive ones and a couple of the critical ones as well. So I like to give a little bit of a little choice here. So let's see some positive reviews here. So we'll go through these real fast for you guys. First one comes to us from Sean R. No choice for the money you pay. It's nothing less than a mere ripoff. Free options don't work, and once you have made a payment with your credit card, they're going to overcharge you and you can't stop it. Must be recurring payments he's referring to there. There are so many easier ways to have a sex date. You may have to travel, but on the other hand, this is something that just really works. In my experience, AFF was not worth a cent because I did not get to meet with any girl. There was no choice in money with what you pay, and no easy way to stop it. We actually have a comment on that, which is kind of funny. But most people don't really comment on the reviews. I mean, sometimes it's going to be like the owner, and they're going to be like, whatever. But a lot of the positive reviews are actually the ones warning you. They're trying to make it... Yeah, they're trying to warn you about it. That's why they're rating it like a 5 out of 5. We got more hungry rogues. Red light warning, be wary of AFF. They are money-hungry rogues. They have lots of sneaky methods for getting your money without providing any service. One-click pay and auto-renewals are especially dangerous. I'm still struggling to stop AFF from billing me. They say the auto-pay box was checked, which is not true. I'm always aware about such things and security on the net, but AFF just do whatever they want with impunity. They get away with scamming people and don't fall victim to the fraud. I swear I'm trying to read the positive reviews. These are literally rated at the 5. I think we have a positive one. Jacob M. Keep it up. Now that Craigslist has removed personal ads, reliable hookup sites like Adult Friend Finder and Casual Dating for You are even more important. I know they ain't perfect, but with all scam sites out there, these ones are actually the legit options. Keep it up. And we'll read one more positive. Russell P. Easy, it said. I like how Adult Friend Finder is super easy to use. Even a dummy like me can get laid on this. LOL. Only time I've ever used websites to get laid was Hookup Hangout, and if this was anywhere near as good as that site, then I'd be one happy dude. That's positive. I like that. And again, from the bad responses here, we'll just read one more here. From Nick S. What a joke. The site has been around for ages, and I'm sure at some point in the distant past, it may have been the world's largest adult community, but there's hardly any active users on there. Most would have been roped in to sign up and then realize that the site is barely usable without a paid membership, which isn't exactly cheap. It's anyone's wonder that these guys still exist, and there's so many better free alternative hookup apps available. It would be, and he says, tip for consumers, it would be good to know upfront that the site is only usable for paid memberships. Perfect. One last one. We'll read from John N. I've been a customer for 7 years. This is a go-around kind of thing. My credit card expired. They didn't bother to alert me, and Instant allowed it to lapse so they could conveniently charge me for more. For customer service, they used low-quality offshore labor, and in order to look at your account, you must give them your password. What type of low-quality operation is this? I tried 3 different email forms to contact them, and one eventually worked. Everybody just says, I cannot change it. If you find a better site, run the other way from these guys. They don't value you as a customer. In fact, if you find another site that works better and actually cares about quality, let me know. I've had it with these unethical slime balls. Tip for consumers, a tip, run the other way and look to see if you have other options. Products used, adult dating, but I haven't renewed and I'm not sure I will. So overall conclusion on this dating app, if you would call it that, definitely, like I said, like all the reviews have kind of stated, the membership blocking you from access is really intrusive. And just again, like Millionaire Match, eHarmony, Match.com all suffer this, where they just absolutely limit your account to the point that you really, if you want to use it, if you choose to use this site, you are almost forced to pay. which is just unbearable. The prices aren't very good. They don't really tell you what you're getting. If anything, they should list like a full access to our website, like in big letters. At least that gives you an idea. But on a free account, I mean, again, like, I just don't get it. The chat rooms are kind of greasy. I don't really like that. That's definitely a thing when I was like 16. You went in chat rooms and you hung out. Not adult chat rooms, but I mean 18 plus or whatever, they had those, and those were always weird. It's just a bunch of men and like one bot female account. The lack of active accounts is always scary, and it's probably true. My limited time on the site told me that. And again, I like the community tab. I have nothing against the community tab, and you can flush out a profile here, but it seems to be no point, because if they haven't paid, they can't even see it. There's nothing they can see except like a quick blog about you, which is like one line and one picture, which is like super small. Like, it's so small in resolution. It's ridiculous. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Again, the next videos coming out will be the tag dating app review, and hopefully elite singles on a live stream. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We're going to see you in the next one. Take it easy. Peace. Thanks for watching, you pencil pushers. If you guys want to check out my Instagram here, I've just got it in the background. It's Nick Daniels Photography with an underscore in between each word where I post every day. That's a lie. Thanks for watching. Peace.